we've gotten through all the boring stuff, the first unit about the computers and all of that. Now we're going to start working on the programs themselves. And our first program is going to be Microsoft Word. We know some of the commonalities from one of the chapters that you read, but now let's get into the specifics of how to operate Word. For those of you who are not familiar with Word, it's a word processing program that you can do almost anything from letters to flyers to anything like. From here on out for the rest of the semester, instead of me boring you in all long videos telling you all about Word, we have linked what they call Hunit videos, which is short videos that you have access to from your Fresno City College website, but we've directly linked them here. And if you look at these videos right here, if you click on each of these, there's the videos for chapter 5, and if you click on them, here's how to create a new document. Each of these are only about 2 to 3 minutes long. Many of you are going to know about a lot of these things: how to insert text, how to copy and paste or arrange text. You're going to know them, so you can skip past these videos. But then you may get into chapter 6 and you may need a little help on one of these things. How do you align text? How do you adjust the line spacing? Once again, each of these are only about 2 or 3 minutes long, and they deal specifically with that topic. If you've never dealt with Word, I'd suggest that you go through each of these videos. They've all got a lot of good information on them. And then, of course, on chapter 7, you'll have the same thing. You'll have a concept review, which is the same thing you've already done. Now, the Word lab is different. For the first 3 sections of Word, you're going to be doing a lab that is sort of interesting here. If you take a look at the directions for the lab, you're working on one project, and I'm going to open these up here. And if you notice here, I've typed across the top of this. Let me maximize this so you can see it. This project is completed during each of these modules. And if you scroll down to the top of page 2, one part of it is due in Lab 1, then the next part is due in Lab 2, and then due in Lab 3 is this part. And what you're going to do is you are going to take a file, and we have done all the typing of the text into the file, but we have not done any formatting. So you're going to be doing the formatting as part of your lab. And it's a resume. And you're going to take this file, and what we've done is we've created one that looks like what I want you to make it look like. And there's hint here, and you can read through all these. These are some of the functions that you're going to be using. But so how do you do that? Let's go back to the modules. And if you take a look here, here's the resume content. This is what you are going to be you're going to be using. And if you open up this file, you see there's all your text, but there's no formatting. It's on 2 pages. It's just the text. So if you go back to the modules, and you may want to print this one out, the duplicate this resume for Word Labs 1 through 3. And that's the labs I'm talking about. Here is the resume as it is going to look when it is completed. And for the first lab, what you're going to do is you're going to change the font styles. You're going to do the line spacing. You're going to apply bullets. You're going to set the margins at 3/4 inch and indent your text. So you're going to have this indent here, and you're going to have your margins set. You're going to change your margins. You're going to apply your bullets. And notice at the end of this one lab, you're still going to have 2 pages. When you look at this duplicate duplicate this resume for WordLab. The second page is hints that might help you. This name is left aligned. The address is right aligned. There's a border here. There's hanging indents. We've put tips here for you to make it look like this. But don't get too worried about some of the fancy things. You see, this is in columns, but we're going to be doing that in the next lab. So don't worry about all of that. All I want you to do in this part of the lab, if you open the directions lab, and you may want to print this one out too, your directions in the second page here, do in lab 1, just this part. Your header and your border and all of this will be in lab 2. And then the finishing it up is going to be in lab 3. So you don't have to do the whole thing all at once. So hopefully this will help when it comes to doing the labs. I'll do a separate video of some of the tips that I feel that may not be covered in some of the videos that you have. Okay? Good luck, and once again, if you have any questions, please post them on the Q&A discussion board. Your fellow students may have the same question or may be able to help you also. Okay, bye.